the Brickyard and ENEA. What an awesome Monday night combination. Getting ready to go racing. 80 laps of action on offer tonight. The cars come down the famed front straight at Indianapolis, waiting for the green flag, and we're racing at the Brickyard. It's round 10. Camera's a little bit too close to the wall there, isn't it? We're going to go ahead and fix that. But leading this race, Jordan Haynes sits ahead of Dakota Long in the Dr. Pepper Toyota Camry, and Perrin Huggins riding around in that third position in the Monster Chevrolet. Jacob Prince got a little nose happy last week at Charlotte with the guy behind him, Nick Kaufman, in the 14. We'll see just what Kaufman has to say about that this time around. Sean Anderson in the 13 sits ahead of Kyle Chafin in that double 4. How about Jordan Tansell in the 36, making his first appearance this season in the Exalta Chevrolet? He gets around Ryan Pisoko. Shane Stone in the double 6 Pennzoil Machine with a little bit of neon flavor to it. Mike Bennett in the 1-9 sits ahead of Yetman and Cordes in the Oreo number 5 down that front straight. Cordes with a John Deere machine behind him, and that's the number 3 of Lucas Reed in the John Deere green Chevrolet. Dakota Dahl rounding out the top 16. Then it goes Lindemann, Meyer, Johnson, and Staples, your top 20. Racing Reiki says, turn up the mic a little bit. Well, let's do exactly, you know what? And because my gain is turned all the way to nothing there. And shout out to Ricky in the chat here as well, not only because his name's also Rick, but because he put me onto a little something called Race on Texas. If you don't know about this, you want to see some good dirt racing. You want to, if you love racing, if you just love the sport of racing, and you want to get back in touch with just some of the awesome grassroots competition there is out there, you've got to get a hold of Race on Texas and get on there and check out what they've got for you. I watched a little bit of it, Ricky, as we were talking about last week. And let me tell you, you pick up a lot of things when you get to take class on some of this stuff, and it's pretty fantastic, definitely. Prince goes purple, 52.62. He's quickest so far at Indianapolis. Let's go on board with the number 9. Prince scrapes the wall off of turn number 4, the number 9 Chevrolet. Throwback there to Bill Elliott sitting behind Perrin Huggins. Huggins not locked into the playoffs, but I'll tell you who is, the 08 car. We're looking at Cody Johnson sitting here in 15th. He is just taking his time, doing everything that he needs to do. That green stripe across his name right there on the points tells you he is locked into the next round. He won last week. I forget where we even raced last week. Ricky, where did we race last week? I have no idea. But the 08, I know that he won. What was it, Atlanta, I think? I'm pretty sure it was the Atlanta Motor Speedway, but he ended up getting the victory and sealing himself. No, wait. Where did we, I don't know why. I can't remember this. I'm going to take a look at the schedule now and find out. Take a look at last week's winner and marvel in his win from last week just for a moment there. Charlotte, that's where it was. It wasn't Atlanta. It was the other D Oval that looks exactly like it. It was Charlotte. And Ricky asking if did I watch the interview with the two guys you were talking about? I watched some interview that was really interesting, but I don't think it was the one you were telling me about. So we got to get back on the horn and talk about that one, because that's something that I really want to see. I really want to pick up on a lot of what goes on in the grassroots dirt racing scene. But Ricky and I will be talking about that for a minute. Jordan Haynes in the number 1, still at the lead. He's led every lap so far of the 6 that we've run. Dakota Long sits behind him in that 2-3, and then Perrin Huggins in the 8 car, just ahead of Jake Prince in that 9, and then Nick Kaufman in the 14. Coming out of turn number 4, that's the top 5, and Kaufman went purple that last time around, 52.48. Let's go on board with the driver of the Ford 14. A look at Jordan Tansell getting around Kyle Chafin. Here's Justin Shoup in the mix as well in the number 91. Tansell looks like he's just going to try and get some sort of advantage on the 91 there coming off the corner. And watch him go into turn number 1. Tansell just waiting, just watching, waiting for that moment. And it's hard to pass here. Very long straights, but because these cars have the drag coefficient of a refrigerator, and they're about as aerodynamic as a brick, they're not going to get a big draft, and they're not going to pass incredibly well on this racetrack. So Dakota Long's work is cut out for him, definitely. Shane Stone in the double 6 behind Kyle Chafin in that 44. Anderson in the 13 up ahead, and Tansell finally did get around Justin Shoup. Now Shoup in the Bobcat Chevrolet chasing that 3-6. That's for the 6th position. There's Huggins up in the 2nd spot, and the points once again coming into this race. Perrin Huggins leading the point standings. Cody Johnson locked in. All the drivers above that red line are good for now. Cody McFadden, who is not present in tonight's race, he sits just above that red line, and he might just see himself below it. Well, of course he's going to see himself below it. All the guys that are behind him in the points are running in this race. So as long as Ryan Lindemann, Jordan Haynes, Jared Stone, and Colton Hefner finish this race, they'll be above what is now 12th position, Cody McFadden. Save for Colton Hefner. Colton Hefner is not in this race. My buddy from Rockwall, Texas. We miss him. Kaufman still purple, 52.42, just continues to keep those quick times, and he finally got around Jacob Prince. Let's see how that happened. Just down the front straight. Textbook pass for the lead. Kaufman gets to the left-hand side of car number 9, and he pulls that one off. Huggins sitting in 3rd, nothing to lose here, the win to fight for. For all intents and purposes, on points alone, Perrin Huggins could probably wreck out the next 2 races and be somewhat sort of okay. You wouldn't worry about him. Next week, however, we go from the big 2.5-mile oval to the little short track out in the middle of Iowa, however in the hell long that thing is. But the Iowa Speedway out in Newton, Iowa, designed in part by Rusty Wallace, if no one told you. That's going to be the cutoff race for this first round of the playoffs. That'll be something to watch. How about Dakota Long going for the lead, and he's going to say, you know what, let me back up. Long's going to think better of that move, and he's going to give Haynes more time to think about it. Further on back, you've got Lucas Reed on the outside, Pete Yetman to the inside, and Dakota Dahl behind them all, with Connor Cordes leading this parade. Let's go on board with the 5. And you just heard Pete Yetman had to let off the throttle coming off that fourth corner. If the timing is not perfect, it's going to cost you. And right there, Dakota Dahl getting a great run off of turn number 4, or at least a better run than Pete Yetman. Dahl hits the grass on the inside. He's loose, but he saves it. You just saw Dakota Dahl really throw it to the inside, and he was loose. Have a look. There goes Ryan Lindemann trying to get to the inside of Dahl. The 2-8 car with the 33. Brandon Meyer behind him. This is going to be coming off turn number 2. See if we can get a better look at Dakota Dahl. There he is. Oh, he didn't even hit the grass. He just got loose off of turn number 1. Tried to give it way too much wheel. And the tires couldn't grip anymore. Let's see if Dahl makes the same mistake this time around. He almost lost that 10 car, but the black Ford Mustang continues to ride. 13 laps underway at Indy. And this time he keeps it just a much more smooth line out of the corner. Sean Anderson recently went green, 52.76. He's behind Justin Shoup, and he's looking for a little bit more. He wants 7th. How about Jordan Tansell? Sitting in that 6th position. The number 36 car has not made a single appearance this season. His first ENEA appearance, he sits 6th. It was Brandon Meyer who made his ENEA debut last week at Charlotte. Good enough to score 28 points. As I'm looking at this list, there's somebody at the bottom of the list in 26th position with 0 points called Rusty Lynn. Now I need to know who the hell is Rusty Lynn. Tansell, that 3.6 Exalta Chevrolet. What is on the side of that race car? You can't even tell, can you? Some Halloween something? It's like someone's grandma on the side of that car. Yeah, all right, so someone's nan on the side of that 36 Exalta Chevrolet, but Tansell making it look good up in that 6th spot. At the front, Jordan Haynes continues to lead. Haven't had that much of another look from Dakota Long, while Perrin Huggins now comes up behind that 2-3. 14 laps about to be completed from the Indianapolis Motor Speedway and those Access Fishing track backs. Telling you, you can expect drivers to make it between laps 20 and 30. They do get 4 tire changes in this race. We'll see just how far they decide to take them. Pasoko in the 2 all over the back end of Cordes. This is the battle for 12th. Pasoko just with a terrible entry into turn number 3, and Cordes has all the gap there into turn 1. The Massachusetts pilot currently running in the 13th position. Dakota Long barely in the 2nd position. Here comes Perrin Huggins. Is he looking for the move? He cheats to the left-hand side, but he will send it in. Way too late on Dakota Long, but he set him up for the entrance, but Huggins sends it in deep. Long says, I won't try the crossover out of turn number 3. What a move by Perrin Huggins. Watch this. Just waiting for the moment, then he flicks it into the corner. He just knew. Have another look. Oh, he just sent it in at the perfect time. Any later and it would have destroyed the corner entry. Excellent move by Perrin Huggins. He's now in the 2nd position, and he can go on and hunt down Jordan Haynes. Haynes right now below that drop line. He had some PC issues the last 2 weeks, and he was not able to participate in this last playoff race at Charlotte, and I don't think he was in the race before that. I'm not sure. But Jordan Haynes, the only driver this season who has been able to come close to Perrin Huggins in terms of wins and success. Huggins with 5 wins this season. Jordan Haynes has to himself 3 wins this season. Cody Johnson with 1 win this season. That makes up the previous 9 races. You take a look at drivers like Justin Shoup. He sits 7th in the point standings. Nick Kaufman and Connor Cordes tied for 5th in those point standings. And speaking of Connor Cordes, he decides he's going to come into the pits. Followed by Luke Reed and Ryan Lindemann. None of those drivers, save for Perrin Huggins, and Perrin will tell you this himself, none of those other drivers have been able to come close to what Jordan Haynes has. Arguably, Jordan Haynes and Perrin Huggins, 2 of the quickest drivers this season, and it's not even close. You hope that the title fight comes down to those 2. Bennett in the 19 sits just behind Kyle Chafin. That's 8th, 9th, and 10th being held by Shane Stone in that double 6. Lindemann just coming out of pit road. Brandon Meyer on the racetrack. He sits in 20th. He's also a lap down. He pitted earlier, so the first round of pit stops on lap 16 to 17. And now how much quicker will these drivers be on worn tires than the leaders? Or I'm sorry, the other way around. You knew what I meant. Haynes, 1.25 seconds ahead of Huggins, but will Huggins have the tires to last longer than Jordan Haynes? Haynes continues to stay out, as does the rest of the top 3. Shane Stone behind the 1.9 of Michael Bennett, with Justin Shoup just ahead. And folks, if you have not been to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, you don't know what you're missing. Obviously, it's a world-class facility. Obviously, it's one of the most famous sports facilities on planet Earth. But the absolute size isn't something that you can picture in your head until you see it. And if you love racing, if you love sports, if you love history, hell, if you love golf, come to the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. And I mean that. There's a golf course in there. The amount of races that have been run here, spanning all the way back to 1909. You know, and when was that first Indianapolis 500? 1911, Ray Haroon winning the first Indy 500. You've got legends, not just like drivers, as Shane Stone decides to say hi to the fans outside turn number 4. But you've got legends and drivers such as, obviously, you've got guys like Ari Leyendijk, the Fittipaldis. You've got the 4-time winners, Castro Neves, Jeff Gordon, who's a 4-time winner of the Brickyard 400. Has anybody won the U.S. Grand Prix at Indianapolis 4 times? I don't think so. Schumacher probably came the closest. You've got your MotoGP winners. IndyCar now races here at the road course. Just, it's unbelievable the amount of history that they have here. And that museum that they're redoing, they are redoing the Indianapolis Motor Speedway Museum. And when they finish it, you will visit it. You don't know what you're missing. As a fan of just sports, history, racing, do yourself a favor and make the pilgrimage to Indy. You'll thank me later. Back to racing, because I'll talk poetically about this place for forever. Kyle Chafin's out of pit road. He's in the 16th position. He last came down on lap 21, but all of the top 11 have yet to come down, including last week's winner, Cody Johnson. Our hardest charger so far. He started dead last in the 20th position, but obviously, as he proved last week, he's got what it takes to win. But it sounds like he might be on a fuel-saving strategy. Have a listen. Win. Nothing. No engine noise right there. That's just awesome. Have another listen. Let's see if he puts the clutch in 3. So Cody Johnson doing his best to save as much fuel as he can, but probably the tires as well. One has to think James Staples sitting in the 12th position. He's the driver that plants himself behind the 08 of Johnson. And we'll see just how long he decides to wait there. 23 laps underway. Jacob Prince decides he's going to come down into the pits. He's halted right now. We'll see if he makes the most of that. And all eyes still on the race leader, Jordan Haynes. That's the sound of the NFL game that shouldn't be audible on my stream as I open up my phone. Looking at that Broncos-Bills game, it's 3-0 Denver right now over the Buffalo Bills. Looks like they're playing at in Buffalo. Gosh, that's got to be cold. Russell Wilson looks like he's going to scramble up the middle and gain a first down and then some for the Broncos. Jordan Haynes still leads, though. He has not come in. Jacob Prince coming out of pit road with fresh tires. This will be, I suppose, the first test to see just how strong these fresh tires are going to be compared to the race leader. There's Prince in the 9. Just came out of pit road. Haynes in the 1. Following him into turn number 3. And the South Carolinian will sail into turn number 1. Here come the rest of the leaders. Huggins is in. The 8 car decides it's time. Dakota Long comes in behind him. Jordan Haynes stays out. Jordan Tansell stays out. Jared Shane Stone stays out. 25 laps now underway at the racing capital of the world. 14.5 minutes remaining. The 3 and 5 Broncos trying to get to the other side of the 50-yard line in this second quarter. Wilson's going to scramble, stiff arm a defender. He's going to run all the way to the sideline and then throw this one away. So it's going to be 2nd and 10 for Denver. They lead by a field goal. Dakota Dahl to the left-hand side of Justin Shoup, the number 91 Bobcat Chevrolet, right up alongside that Indianapolis Motor Speedway wall. Shane Stone saying hi. Here come the rest. Leader is in. Jordan Haynes has decided it's time to come into the pits. He's got a reputation for speeding. You saw Tansell almost hesitate. He has spun it right in front of pit road. We stay green, and Tansell coming in way too hot. A fantastic performance, and to this point, he has just thrown his race away. Haynes is in. Dakota Dahl decides he's going to stay out. Shane Stone, new leader in the double 6, and Tansell. Jordan Tansell having a marvelous race so far, overcooks it and wrecks the car. Just coming in way too hot. You saw him hesitate. One more look. You saw Tansell hesitate, and that killed his entrance. I just didn't know what to do. You saw him wiggle at the last minute. He just didn't know what to do, and then just spins and wrecks the car right at the pit road entrance. Shane Stone, still your race leader, and he decides, now is my time. Dakota Dahl, he's going to come in as well. Bealton, Virginia's Justin Shoup is your new leader at Indianapolis. Listen to him just cut the engine off into turn number 1, 27 laps in. He decides he's going to stay out. The last time around, 55.27 was his lap time. Cody Johnson, 55.26. Jacob Prince, who recently came in, 53.95 the last time around. 1.5 seconds quicker than the leaders. And then Jordan Haynes, who's been arguably one of the best drivers all season long. Now we want to see what kind of time he puts up on the board. He had 1.25 seconds on Perrin Huggins at the time the pit stop cycle began. 4 seconds is now the gap, and you think, my gosh, only a caution could save him now if it's going to be one of those races. Shoup stays out, and possibly Justin Shoup gambling on that caution. You can hear him just cut the engine off into turn number 1. Listen again into 2. there's been the gap over the last 5 laps. Cody Johnson just steadily reeling him in up until this most recent lap, where Johnson must have taken a big hit, but all eyes on Justin Shoup, waiting to see when he's going to be coming in. Shoup, Johnson, and Kaufman, the only 3 who have yet to pit. Johnson, now one of the only 2 drivers left to pit, will stay out. Cody Johnson will stay out at Indianapolis and be your new leader. Here's Jordan Haynes, who's a lap down and behind him. If you just tuned in, we have not missed a thing so far caution-free at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Jordan Haynes now taking the lead. I thought that was to unlap himself. I was wrong. So Jordan Haynes, new leader. Perrin Huggins, 3.8 seconds behind. Cody Johnson still has not pitted, but this is the interesting part. The last time around, Cody Johnson, 55.5 seconds. Jordan Haynes, 53.6 seconds. So as near as makes no difference, 2 seconds the gap between Johnson and Haynes. Jacob Prince, one of the leaders to start that pit stop cycle, 54.12. So Haynes, who pitted on lap 22, not moving as quick as the race leader. Prince, who pitted on lap 22, not moving as quick as the race leader. Last time around, Jordan Haynes, 53.77. Jacob Prince, who pitted on lap 22, on tires 8 laps old, 54.27, so half a second the difference. Although Cody Johnson, the defending champion, who just got his first win last week, now moving 2 seconds quicker than the race leader. 2 seconds slower than the race leader. Johnson's got to pit. Perrin Huggins, his last time around, 53.73. He was quicker than Jordan Haynes by 4/100ths, quicker than Cody Johnson by 2 seconds. If Johnson doesn't come in, Huggins is going to eat him alive. On board with the 8. It was that easy. Perrin Huggins gets around Cody Johnson. Second and third, swap places. 31 laps underway. We're inside the final 50 at Indy. Nicky Kaufman now gets into the inside of Cody Johnson. With 50 laps to go, Johnson has not pit, but considering everybody else's stops, you wouldn't imagine he can go half the distance. There goes Perrin Huggins. It looks like he just smacked the wall. I don't know how far he can go on fuel, but if Cody Johnson makes this to lap 40, he'll only have to stop once. However, given what he's accomplished so far, he's gone from 20th to 4th, and he sits 6 seconds behind the leader. I can't see him going out to win this race, but we'll see. That sounded really off note, by the way, that engine. He's being incredibly gingered. You've got to think he's got to be saving as much fuel as possible, trying to stretch it out to lap 40. But if he does, at what cost is it going to be? He's got to gamble on a caution. There goes the 08 hitting the brakes into the turn. Is he sputtering? Oh, he's clutching it real early into the corner at this point. He stays out still. Hell. He's clutching down the front straight. What in the world is Cody Johnson doing? If there's anybody out there that knows racing at all, tell me why Cody Johnson is hitting the clutch, heading down the front straight. That just makes no sense. Is he gambling on a yellow? Well, and really, what does he have to lose? Let's take a look at the points once more. The green stripe on his name will indicate that he's locked into the playoffs. Cody Johnson won last week at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. He's good. He's got to be out of fuel or something, just gambling on that yellow. He's out. He is out of gas. 300 RPM. That thing, he's got to be done. Run it back. Did the car cough when he went into the turn 3 access road? Have a listen.
Yellow, yellow, yellow.
There's the caution right there, and it's the stage brake. It's the stage brake that he's waited for this entire time, coming up to lap 34, and he makes it work. Johnson running out of fuel and moving at a snail's pace down pit road. He was waiting for the stage brake. And I'm not going to lie, Connor Cordes told me before this race got started, hey, the stage brake is at lap whatever, 30-something, and I completely had no idea what was going on. But here it is, the stage brake, and I wonder what that's going to gain him, but he got all the way up to the lead. He's still on the lead lap, but and I tell you what, we know he can't make it to the end on fuel. He'll need another caution to make it to at least that far. However, he's got the freshest tires on the track. He last pitted on lap 23. Compared to Nick Kaufman, who just finished the stage in the second position, Nick Kaufman still has not pitted. So he's also going to come down pit road with the freshest tires and the most fuel of anybody. This could get really, really interesting, and I love where this is going to go. Fans at home, don't go anywhere. We're going to do some math, most likely incorrectly. We're going to come back and update you with some NFL scores as well, but we're going to be back with more of this awesome strategic racing. Don't go anywhere. It's ENEA at the where the hell are we? At the Brickyard. I tried to be cool going to break there, but I was less than that. We're at Indianapolis. We'll be back here in 2 minutes. Back at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, ready for more racing and what's going to be a thrilling second half of this competition. Looking at the Broncos at the Bills, the 3 and 5 Broncos are up by a field goal on the 5 and 4 Bills. 10.5 minutes to go in the second quarter. Halftime looming for this football game and for these drivers. Dakota Dahl pitted on lap 26. He did not pit during the most recent caution. Everybody came down for tires and fuel there on lap 35. Cody Johnson is still in the pits, by the way, and now on his way out. Again, nothing to lose for Johnson. He's going to because he's locked in. That's what that green stripe means next to his name. He is locked in to the playoffs. Dakota Dahl comes into this race right here. I guess you could say the penultimate race of this round. 18th in the standings. He's not in the playoffs, so he's also going for broke. Nick Kaufman on the outside going for broke. Getting ready to go again. 37 laps about to be completed. Dahl and Kaufman have the control on the front row. They wait for the signal. More next-gen racing at Indianapolis. The green flag is out. Dakota Dahl out to a huge lead as the man, the myth, the godfather, the legend, Repeat 1975 is in the house. And if you don't know, where have you been? Get around to watching this man stream. The man who put me onto this. So shout out Repeat 1975. Send my love to the family out there and let them know that Ricky says hi. Glad to hear from you, man. So glad to hear from you. I hope all is well. Nicky Kaufman in that second spot. Another eye on that Broncos-Bills game. 3-0 Broncos over the Bills right now with 7:50 to go in this second quarter. Broncos with the ball and trying to make something else out of this possession here. Dakota Dahl making the most of what he's got out of this lead. Perrin Huggins going to the inside of Jacob Prince. This is going to be the move for the 5th spot. Huggins not close enough to side draft him, but he's got the advantage into one, and Huggins will get to the inside of JP. And he's going to run up the racetrack just a little bit on Prince. Not enough to squeeze him, and they won't make contact, but Huggins is going to be tucked right up neatly under the real spoiler of Prince. It's going to be 4th and 2 for the Broncos here. They're in the red zone and doing something. Russell Wilson's not coming off the field, so they're probably going to go for it. We're going to see what they can make of it here. Further on back into this, Ryan Pasoko to the inside. Can't get around Brandon Meyer in that double three. Jordan Haynes, he was dominant in the first half of this race. He came down. I think he overdrove his pit stall as well during that stage break caution. He's now to the inside of Pasoko. He's going to lift off the throttle and not get into that 2-car. Although it looks like he might try to side draft off him down the front straight. Brave move. And the 1 to the inside of the 2 with the double 3 sitting just up ahead. The 1-3 sits in position number 4, just 0.6 ahead of the car that's in 5th. Sean Anderson in the 1-3 behind Dakota Long in the 2-3 Dr. Pepper Camry. It goes Ford Toyota on the podium positions now. Long snaking the car down the back straight here. It's going to be 4th and 2 here for the Broncos. They seem to be on the Bills' 13-yard line, so they are close to scoring, and they're going to go for it here. Racing right up to the line of scrimmage is that offensive line. Right under center. Wilson's going to snap. He's going to try and roll out. He's chased back beyond the 20. He's going to heave it into the end zone where it's caught but it may have been caught out of bounds, and it looks like it is an incomplete pass, and it's going to be a turnover on downs. Great defense there by Buffalo. And it's going to be, yeah, that's 1 foot in, and, well, no, okay, I don't know. If you're watching this Broncos-Bills game, you tell me what you think there, as I'm completely missing the fact that Nick Kaufman just took the lead from Dahl, and here comes Long trying to take the lead from Kaufman, with Anderson throwing his hat into the ring going into turn number 3. Excellent patience there shown by Dakota Long. He did not have to let up into the corner. He did. He got into the wall, though. Sean Anderson right behind that 2-3, and that Toyota sandwich with the Ford bread comes out of turn number 4 with the red Chevrolet of Prince looming. Long sitting in second. Dahl gets into the wall, and the 8 of Perrin Huggins now trying to fill in the gap. Inside the final 40 laps of competition, Jake Prince rolling in 4th. He's right behind Sean Anderson. Remember, last week at Charlotte, Prince did not make any friends, sending the car deep into turn number 3 at Charlotte. Made contact with the 45 of Ryan Von Henschel. Made contact with the 14 of Nick Kaufman, enough to spin him out in turn number 4. And now we'll see what Kaufman thinks of that red number 9 sitting behind him. Anderson getting defensive with that number 9, pinching him to the outside, but using the 14 of Kaufman as a pick. Here comes the 9 off of turn number 4, trying to get some sort of run. He's going to try and make it 3 wide down the front straight, and Jacob Prince waiting for nobody, trying to make the most of what he's got. But will he have the line going into turn number 1? He certainly won't have the turning radius on that 9 car, and he's going to have to back the car up as Perrin Huggins starts to fill in the gap, and the 13 car bouncing off that wall as well. All the while, Dakota Long running away with this lead. Nick Kaufman now sits in second. Prince, who sent it in deep on Kaufman last week. Is he going to try and force the issue this time? He will. He's going to get right up to Kaufman's left rear quarter panel, and they're almost going to make contact, and we'll see if Prince decides to really get up. He does. They make contact again. And Jacob Prince this time getting away with that pass for second. Let's have another look at the 9 getting around the 14. And have a look. Oh, this time Kaufman trying to move down on the 9 car. He gets away with a tap and nothing more. And Nick Kaufman looks like he was none too happy about that move. Let's go back to Jake Prince. This is into the corner. You can see the 14 tries to turn low on the 9 car. Doesn't get away with it there. Caution is out. Caution is out this time around. We'll see who got involved. And it looks like Nick Kaufman was involved in the 14. Kaufman with a big piece of that one going into turn number 1. Not a good look, making contact with the 9 of Prince that time around, and then this time the caution comes out after they've crashed. Have a look. Mike Bennett to the inside of Nick Kaufman. This is through 3 and 4. Bennett's going to go up the racetrack. Kaufman will avoid the wall. Bennett not giving up that low line, going up the middle. What happened to Kaufman here? There's Bennett just trying to avoid Kaufman down the front straight. There's Bennett who just gets into Kaufman. Bennett just inches towards Kaufman down that front straight, and luckily Kaufman didn't get that much into a wreck. But it looks like Brandon Meyer and Lucas Reed then had an incident. Oh, the 66 of Stone just tries to clear Meyer. He just doesn't hit the brakes. On board with Shane Stone. This could have been an avoidable move here. Listen to this. And by this point, the caution has come out. Stone going full speed, while Meyer lets up for the crash in front of him. Meyer getting caught up as a result of Shane Stone's impatience. And let's see again, Michael Bennett and Nick Kaufman deciding to get into it. And you'll have a look here. You'll see the 19 of Bennett just gets ever closer to the 14 down the front. Well, and that's a terrible angle. The pagoda gets right in the way here. Let's see if we can get a better look at Mike Bennett getting into Nick Kaufman. This will be a great angle here. You'll see the 19 just inch closer to the 14. Inching closer, inching closer. And it looks like netcode at the last second, but even still, I just... What side draft are you going to get at Indianapolis here that's enough to make that mistake? It just looks like the 14 just gets loose at the last minute. Mike Bennett gets away unscathed. Nick Kaufman's got some damage to repair. Sean Anderson, he came down into the pits, as did everybody else on lap 47. And he's going to have the race lead coming out of the pit road. We're going to have just over 30 laps to go at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Fans at home, don't go anywhere. It's a 2-minute break, and we're going to be back for more racing. Back to racing at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, looking at the Broncos and Bills. 9-0 Broncos over the Bills there. I have no idea how they scored 9. Where I thought that catch wasn't a touchdown, I guess it was a touchdown, and maybe they just didn't make the extra point. I've got no clue, but it's Bills' ball right now. It's 3rd and 1 for them with 5.5 to go in this second quarter. Green flag is out with Sean Anderson and rookie Jordan Tansell on the front. We're racing again at the Brickyard. Prince crashes immediately out of turn number 2. Jacob Prince going for a big skid. Caution comes out on lap number 50. They don't make it 2 corners without a caution coming out, and it's Prince involved in this one. Let's see what happened to the 9. Oh, just loose off the corner. He slams right into Perrin Huggins. How about Connor Cordes? Ryan Pasoko avoiding all of that. Prince keeps it off the track. And one more look. Let's go to the blimp and see if we can find out exactly what happened. Keep your eye on that red number 9. Oh, the 9 just slides up the racetrack, and I don't know if it's net code or what, but he just goes around. The way that car snaps. You can see he just gets loose off the corner, maybe trying to stay off the 44. The 44 of Kyle Chafin definitely getting loose right before Prince goes around. There's Prince going up the racetrack, and again, he just loses control of the race car. On board now with Ryan Pasoko. And watch this. And it's moves like that that's going to earn Massachusetts Ryan Pasoko his very own Cole Trickle move of the race.
Ice cream.
So the caution comes out again. 1.5 corners after they take the green flag. And look who's in the lead. Kyle Chafin in the number 44, Access Fishing Chevrolet. This is a pretty good time to mention that Access Fishing does bring you the track facts and the points in these ENEA playoff standings. And fans at home, if you love fishing, you're going to love Access Fishing. They've got everything you need as far as baits go. They make custom soft plastic quality baits for the everyday angler at the everyday angler price. You need to head on over to accessfishingal.com, get you some of those custom soft plastic quality baits, and get that quality that you've been needing. Why spend hundreds at the other stores when you don't need to? Custom soft plastic quality baits for the everyday angler at that everyday angler price. Head on over to accessfishingal.com. Follow them on their social medias at accessfishingllc, but check out their website. They are all over the Southeast helping fishermen just like you and I, and you need those awesome products. Head on over to accessfishingal.com and stop throwing your money away. So the lights are out atop the pace car. Connor Cordes sits in that second position in the Oreo Chevrolet. See if we can bother this man for a quick second. Connor Cordes, Rick James up top. Can you hear me?
Hey, Rick. Got you.
Sitting in that second position right now. You're going to be on the outside of Kyle Chafin. Looks like the restart just got waved off here. 44 and 5 going to control the front. It's been a while since we've seen the number 5 in victory lane. Do you think you have a chance to get up there?
We've actually never seen the 5 in victory lane, at least on the iRacing side, in an ENEA race. But I don't know. I don't know that I have the car to beat Haynes. But the name of the game here is just to keep this thing clean. And, I mean, since it's playoffs now, we just got to get the best finish we can.
Just over 25 laps to go. You mentioned Jordan Haynes is up there. He's going to fight for that victory. Speaking of victory, it's gotten a lot closer between the Broncos and the Bills now. I turned away for 2 seconds, and the Broncos are up 9-8 on Buffalo with just over 3 minutes remaining in this one. Who you got, Broncos or Bills?
Well, considering I'm the biggest Chiefs fan there is, I really don't care because I hate both teams equally. So I would say hopefully the Broncos, just because they're further out of the playoff race, but I don't see that happening.
Yeah, the Bills just threw a touchdown there, and they scored that 2-point conversion, so they're down by a marker heading into this next phase of the game just before halftime here. More than 25 laps to go. We saw Cody Johnson stretch it all the way past, 30? He went to about lap 34, 35 on one tank of gas. What do you expect these drivers are going to do? Is it no more pit stops to the end from here?
There's some guys I think that are like just barely over that can make it. I chose to stay out here. I think I'm a couple laps short, but hoping for a little bit or a couple more cautions here potentially towards the end of the race, and I got one tire set left. So you kind of got a mixed field here. I think some guys are just short, probably top 5, 6, 7, so something like that. But the rest I think are probably a couple laps over.
We're going to let you get back to work. We're going to have 26 laps to go when we restart this race. Best of luck, Connor.
Thanks, Rick. Have a good one.
Oh, we will have a good one. I've been having a good one, and I hope you've been having fun as well. If you're still with us, thank you so much for tuning in here. Keeping one eye on this Broncos game. It's actually getting pretty good. 3 minutes remain in this second quarter. Broncos have the ball. It's going to be 1st and 10 for them on what is the Bills' 45-yard line. Hand it off up the outside, and they're going to gain themselves 4 yards. So it's going to be 2nd and 6 for Denver. 2.5 ticks on the clock now. 2.5 ticks, more than that, 2.5 minutes. Shout out Kyle Chafin, though. Didn't expect that. Kyle Chafin up in the lead. So we'll see what he can do with this one. The top 6 drivers last pitted on lap 47. Shane Stone in that double 6. He got involved in one of the first crashes tonight. And then the guy next to him, Brandon Meyer, in that double 3. He caught a piece of that too. Jacob Prince is going to be restarting this race in the 16th position. Are they just hanging back on this restart? These drivers really spread out. And Prince is looking to get a really good jump. They're not even double file back here. What is up with that? Shoes cone going to work. Jordan Haynes on the left-hand side here. Everybody trying to get organized at the last minute. Now Jacob Prince shoots to the outside. Cody Johnson gets ahead of him. The green flag comes out, and Kyle Chafin all the way at the front has control of the field. Look at Michael Bennett. Chafin still at the front of this one. Connor Cordes in the 5 trying to take him over, looking to lead the first lap after green. That looks like Sean Anderson just ahead of the field, and the field will definitely catch him up with the draft they've got going on. The 44 just too far. Oh, no, not too far. Well, I was going to say he's too far ahead of the 5. He's not too far ahead of the 5, but he's just enough ahead to be leading with 25 laps to go. Connor Cordes in second, Michael Bennett in third, Jacob Prince now behind Dakota Long, in front of Dakota Dahl. So it looks like the Dakotas sandwiching the number 9 of Prince. Nick Kaufman in the 13th position, and Jordan Haynes sitting in 12th. Perrin Huggins at the back of this one in the 18th spot. 24 laps to go, and if it goes green to the end, you heard Connor Cordes say, we don't have the fuel to make it. We're a couple laps short. Pisoko pitted 4 laps after. No, I'm sorry, Tansel, not Pisoko, because I can't read. Jordan Tansel pitted on lap 51, as did Justin Shoup. Cordes is in the wall hard. Bennett to the inside. He's going to sneak just ahead of car number 5. Here comes Tansel. And watch this. Was there contact? Nope, just the 5 getting really loose out of the corner. Bennett almost getting collected in that, but keeping his wits about him and getting ahead of the problem. Cordes on the outside of Tansel, who gets loose out of turn number 2. Pasoko behind them. Meyer behind them. Nick Kaufman ahead of Lucas Reed and company. Here comes Jordan Haynes to the inside. 3 wide into turn number 3. Shoot. Almost making contact with Yetman, who then will just avoid the wall. Jordan Haynes will clear them both and get into the 9th position. He is fast. Win and you're in. That is the name of the game. Cody Johnson running in the 17th position. He won last week at Charlotte. He is locked into the next phase of the playoffs. By this time next week, all the drivers below that red line are in serious trouble if they don't pick up the pace. Cordes on the inside. Stone to the outside. Shane Stone, he pitted on lap 47. His tire's just as old as Cordes. Brandon Meyer, he last pitted on lap 49. Here comes Ryan Lindemann. Jordan Haynes pitting on lap 53. He's got the fuel to make it. Lindemann on the outside, Haynes to the inside, and Jordan Haynes with that sensational run. Here comes Justin Shoup to make it 3 wide. Haynes with a block, and he can't block the 91 quick enough. Though not enough momentum for the 91, he will leave the door open for Nick Kaufman. Shoup scrubbing off the speed down the front straight. Kaufman sending it in way too deep into turn number 1. Here comes the 3 of Lucas Reed to the left-hand side of the 1-4. Jacob Prince just can't shake Dakota Dahl in the 15th position. And at the front, the Access Fishing Chevrolet of Kyle Chafin still leading this race. Bennett trying to get the draft. He sees the move into turn number 1. He's going to send it in for that race lead. Here comes the 36 of Jordan Tansel just ahead of Ryan Pasoko. Pasoko will try the crossover out of turn number 1 into 2. Bennett clears the 44. New leader, Mike Bennett. Shane Stone went green, 52.60, his personal best. Jordan Haynes trying to get to the inside of Brandon Meyer in the 3 GoPro Ford. Connor Cordes behind that 1. Bennett still leads. Chevrolets in the top 4. Shane Stone and Brandon Meyer 5th and 6th driving Fords. 2-0 to go. And then 1-9 at the line. Michael Bennett up 14 places from where he started. He, like Connor Cordes, does not have enough fuel to make it. The only drivers with possibly enough fuel to make it: Jordan Tansel in the 3.6, Jordan Haynes in the 1. Everybody from 11th on back should have the fuel to go the distance, but do they need to save to be sure of that? Who knows? Looking at the Broncos and Bills with a minute to go in the second quarter. $1.07. 2nd and 20 for Denver. They're going to run it up the middle and gain about 4 yards. So it's going to be 3rd and 16 with a minute to go. We'll see if Denver tries anything crazy. And now the snake begins. And really, the only thing this is going to do is benefit Ryan Pasoko if Jordan Tansel can stop swerving so hard that he's got to force Pasoko out of line. Tansel has got to be careful. He has made some very dangerous moves this evening. Least of which that there. Michael Bennett leads by 0.3 of a second. Ryan Pasoko all over the back end of Jordan Tansel. Dakota Long, look at Pasoko! Really getting loose out of the corner. He just saved that one. Jordan Haynes up into 4th. Shane Stone behind him. Connor Cordes trying to find room to the inside of Dakota Long. Kyle Chafin just ahead of that 2-3. Jordan Haynes all over the back end of Pasoko. Haynes does not need to force the issue. He has the quickest car out of anybody in the top 10. Couple of guys making contact off the turn 4 wall. A minute 1 remains. It's still 3rd and 16 for Denver, and the Broncos kicker warming up on the sidelines. Jordan Haynes easily gets around Ryan Pasoko, but Pasoko going to try the crossover out of 2. He's got to run down the back straight. Speaking of running, Russell Wilson's going to run for it, stay on his feet still, and they're finally going to tackle him, but he did get the... No, he didn't get the first down. He got like 4 yards, another 4 yards. So it's going to be 4th down for the Broncos, 4th and 6 to be exact. So I guess he got 10 yards. You got to give him to him. That was a nice little run, right? Pasoko able to get around Jordan Haynes. Maybe I should pay attention to racing. What do you guys think? Pasoko able to get around Haynes. Haynes returns the favor. Michael Bennett continues to lead, and what the hell is Jordan Haynes doing? At kind of an unorthodox move, and he gets really loose in turn number 1, and the 2 of Pasoko gets right into him. We stay green, though, despite that crash. Really interesting call that we stay green. But Jordan Haynes going really low into turn number 1, and he might have just thrown the race away. Mike Bennett at the front. Jordan Tansell in 2nd. Dakota Long sitting in 3rd. Chevy Toyota, your top 3, and the quickest driver all race long may have just thrown it away. Watch this. One car sends it in real deep. He gets loose right ahead of car number 2. Nowhere for Pasoko to go. It's going to be down the front straight here. Let's see if we can get a more recent look at this. There's Jordan Haynes snaking all the way down the front straight. I don't know if he's trying to get the car to turn better or what, but the same thing happened to Dakota Dahl earlier. Dahl saved it. Haynes did not. Mike Bennett in the 19 ahead of Jordan Tansell in the 36. Jordan Haynes in the pits getting the car repaired. Already 1 lap off the pace, and he's going to need a bunch of cautions to make it back from this one. So Bennett still leads. Not enough fuel to go the distance, but he's still ahead here. It's actually a really inspired drive by Mike Bennett. I'm excited to see where this goes. Jordan Tansell sitting in the 2nd position. Just sitting here still thinking what could have been for Jordan Haynes, because that right there was the race just slipping away from Haynes. And here comes Bennett. He knows he can't make it on fuel. He's in. Prince will stay out. Kaufman will stay out. Ryan Pasoko following Michael Bennett in. Dakota Long getting around Jordan Tansell, and your new leader is car 23, Dakota Long. Toyota, Ford, Chevrolet, your top 3. Shane Stone sits in 3rd. Justin Shoup in 4th. How about Nick Kaufman still in that 5th position with Connor Cordes behind him? Jacob Prince also behind him. Pete Yetman looking for a move on rookie Brandon Meyer. Little rookie on rookie action. Lucky number 13 laps to go this time by. Who's got the gas to go to the end? It could be Dakota Long. It could be Jordan Tansell. Long did pit 2 laps after Tansell. For those wondering about the Broncos, because I'm not paying attention, the Broncos made that field goal on 4th and whatever. So it's 12-8. And it looks like the Broncos might have just... Did Josh Allen throw a pick? He must have, because the Broncos have the ball again. And that's exactly what happened. Josh Allen threw another interception. So the Broncos are going to go into the locker room with a lot to think about. They're down 4 to, the Bills. Bills and Broncos. See, I don't watch football. The Bills are down 4 points to Denver, headed into the locker room. There's about 30 seconds to go in this first half. Dakota Long has the lead. Jordan Tansell is in the second position, and Jordan Haynes, one of the most dominant drivers all race long, threw his race away. Watch this. Haynes just sends it in really deep on the front straight. Not sure what he was trying to do, maybe get a better angle on turning the car, but he gets really loose. He slides right up in front of Ryan Pasocco trying to save the car. There's nowhere for Pasocco to go. So Dakota Long still ahead. Jordan Tansell in second. Shane Stone sits in fourth. Built-in Virginia's Justin Shoup rolling in third. He last pitted on lap 51. Connor Cordes, he's down on lap 68. He's getting tires. Pete Yetman also going to join him. Kyle Chafin still out on the racetrack with a blinking Dakota doll behind him. 11 laps to go this time by. On board with Dakota Long. You can hear which drivers are putting the clutch in so the revs on the engine don't run into the corner. Shane Stone is one of those pilots in that double six. Listen to Stone headed into turn number 1 and listen for that engine note to just drop. Now, one driver who knows exactly how far he can make it on fuel, Cody Johnson in the 08, but it depends on how hard he's been driving the car. Here's Jordan Haynes, who only managed to stay 1 lap off the pace, fighting for his playoff life at this point. It could be a win or go home situation next week after Haynes throws away a potential race win headed into turn number 1 and kart number 1. Not only is he on the back foot, but he is backed into a corner. It's going to be really interesting to see where this race goes from here, and he's going to need the caution to save him. There's race leader Dakota Long, 9 at the line. And you know who just went purple? Jordan Haynes, 52.35, his quickest lap this race. I mean, if fast lap counts for anything, he's got it, that's for sure. Ryan Pasocco sits just ahead. Not sure what Jordan Haynes wants with Pasocco. Haynes backing off the corner, really not sure what he's playing at here. And a little bit of bump drafting maybe down that front straight. There is Dakota Long with 8 laps remaining and Jordan Tansell behind him. Tansell last pitting on 51. Long pitting on 58. These are the stints of the drivers that came down pit road. How far they've gone. That first stint, all green flag laps. Dakota Long able to go 24 laps on that first green flag run. He pitted on lap 53. Math will tell you 54 laps will carry Dakota Long to lap 77. 3 laps shy on fuel. Tansell even less. Nick Kaufman, that first stint, he went 35 laps. Kaufman sits in third right now. If he keeps it in one piece, Kaufman would be in sensational position to win this race, assuming the other two pilots have to come down for fuel. Justin Shoup, his first stint, 26 laps on one tank. How far is he going to make it? I'm sorry, 28 laps. In any case, Justin Shoup can still make it. Justin Shoup pitting on lap 51. It would be right at the end for Shoup, and I mean close. Drivers who can make it for sure are those who have just recently pitted on lap 66. So Mike Bennett, Connor Cordes pitted on 68, Ryan Pasocco lap 66, Jordan Haynes 64, but Haynes also remains one lap down. This is going to be so close. So close. And there's the last pit stop lap for all of these drivers. Again, if that final number on the right reads anything greater than, let's say, 58, your driver can make it for sure. Is Dakota Long even saving fuel? Let's have a listen with the 2-3 car. Not clutching the car into the corner yet, meaning he's not having the engine run at lower revolutions per minute to save whatever fuel he can. 5 laps to go, and he's opened that lead over Jordan Tansell to 0.6 of a second. Kyle Chafin looking for another top 10 run. He's losing ground to Dakota Dahl, and here comes the defending champion, Cody Johnson. He pitted on lap 53. Kyle Chafin only pitted on lap 47. Chafin absolutely must save fuel, or he will not finish this race on this tank of gas. 4 to go next time for Long. Johnson catching up to Chafin. Jacob Prince running in 5th. Jordan Haynes, the last car, 1 lap down. Ryan Lindemann up ahead, almost an entire lap. Matter of fact, there's Lindemann. That's the guy that Jordan Haynes is racing. So again, Jordan Haynes, even if a caution came out, would not get his lap back. Haynes would need 2 cautions to make this work for him. Long still leads. 4 laps to go at Indy. Dakota Long, who won an obscene number of races last season, despite having a reputation for doing too much. I'm going to pull this up right now and tell you exactly how many races this man won. Actually, in Season 4? No, this is Season 4. I want Season 3. I was about to say, there's no way he won 0 races last season. I broadcasted those races. I should know exactly how many he won. Last season, Dakota Long with 4 wins. So Dakota Long had more wins last season than Jordan Haynes does this season. Winless so far in season number 4. So what vindication would it be for Dakota Long to actually get the W? He's got to stay off the wall, though, and Nicky Kaufman, who pitted on the same lap as Dakota Long, now with the speed, now with the moves. Kaufman to the inside of Tansell, and with 3 laps to go at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it goes Toyota, Ford, Chevrolet. Fewer than 7 miles remain. Somebody looking like they're going to get their first win this season. Perrin Huggins running in the 12th position. Jordan Haynes in 19th. Cody Johnson in 9th. Those are the only 3 victors this season in ENEA. And 5 miles from now, we could add a new name to that list. We might even have a brand new podium that we've never seen before, including rookie Jordan Tansell in the 3.6. How about that? But here comes Kaufman. Fewer than 2 laps remaining at the racing capital of the world. It's the Dr. Pepper Camry who just gets into the wall. Ahead of the Air Force 14. Is that Air Force? Is that Navy? but I can't tell my cars apart here. But anyway, Kaufman looks like he's going to make the move. Does he make the move? He springs down. Long throws the block. He's going to block him into the grass, and there they go. It can't end like this. Long blocking all the way to the grass. Kaufman's in the wall. White flag not out yet. Dakota Long still ahead of Jordan Tansell. Oh, of all the controversial things to happen at the end of this one. White flag in the air, and it's a race no matter what. Jordan Tansell, the only driver now who can beat Dakota Long. Nick Kaufman off of turn number 4, disheveled, had a chance to win it. Long leading, Tansell behind him, 4/10 is the gap, and Tansell just has to make it work this time. If he doesn't get a good run into 3, it's over. Tansell has to stay true. He's got to keep the draft behind that 23 car. We are going to talk about this one for hours. The 2-3 into turn 3. Dakota Long with Jordan Tansell in the rear view. Long loose out of 3. He smacks the wall. Rookie Jordan Tansell to the inside. Here goes Long. One more chance for the 2-3 off of turn number 4. They're going to drag race to the line. Long trying to get to the inside of Tansell. On the outside of Tansell. Drag race to win at Indiana. It's rookie Jordan Tansell who wins round 10 at the Brickyard. What a way to end it. Jordan Tansell, first race, first win. Justin Shoup offering congratulations. Tansell taking it nice and slow. And to think, Jordan Tansell went from wrecking the car on the entrance of pit lane to winning this race. Unbelievably done for Jordan Tansell. What a drive for Jordan Tansell. Can you believe it? Watch this. Lap 26. Nope, that is well before he crashes. Crashing the car on lap 26 to coming back to win this race. Tansell, first race, first win. That is awesome. And that'll do for a burnout. So we're going to have Jordan Tansell and the rest of the podium in the booth here in just a moment, fans. Don't go anywhere. Oh, you know what? Let's actually take a look at the last 2 laps. Let's see exactly what happened with Dakota Long while we get the rest of the field here. Check this out. I think. All right, so let's back up a little bit. Long really blocking the 14 into the grass. All right, from the sky, let's have another look at that move. Watch the block. And Long just blocks too late. And unfortunately, you can tell by this point, let's slow it down here. And we're going to slow it down so you can see Kaufman has the momentum. Long well within his right to block here. But at this point here, you can already see that the nose of the 14 is ahead of the rear bumper of the 2-3. So the block that Long's going to throw from here is just going to end up poorly for everybody else. And again, have another look. It's just at this point, you can see the rear bumper of the 14 is ahead of the front bumper of the 14 is ahead of the rear bumper of the 2-3. And from here, they're going to come together, and unfortunately, that's where Nick Kaufman gets the short straw in this one. Then the white flag comes out. And from there, it was Jordan Tansell. Dakota Long, on the cusp of his first victory. And watch this. Off of turn number 3, Long into the wall, Tansell beneath him. And it's enough for Tansell to get the victory. Fans at home, don't go anywhere. Top 3 is going to be on the podium in just a moment. On the podium with our top 3 with the pride of Bealton, Virginia, Justin Shoup, bronze medal tonight at the Brickyard of all places. How did you pull that off?
Oh man, I tell you what, it was definitely an uphill battle all night. Right off the bat, I took a gamble at the stage and tried to make it. Didn't pay off. Me and the 08 ran out of fuel coming to the checker, and ended up going a lap down. And thankfully, I was lucky dog for that caution and was able to keep the nose clean the rest of the way. I knew I had a fast car, but I had to get back on the lead lap.
A fantastic drive, nonetheless. You're 4th in the point standings, headed into next week's round final at Iowa. It's looking good to make it through to the next round. Congratulations on 3rd.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it, and good broadcast.
Tonight's silver medalist, driver of the 2-3 Dr. Pepper Camry, Dakota Long. 4 wins last year, Dakota. This year, so close. 1 straightaway away from bagging the W.
Yeah, definitely kind of stings a little bit right there going into 3, but looking back, I just just butchered it. Didn't shift down to 4th like I should have, and it just was so tight. I just tried to get back into it, and it would not turn. So it happens. I mean, it happens to the best. I mean, I've sat there and seen real NASCAR drivers butcher wins away. So we'll go back and dig deep and be there next week and throughout the playoffs.
Next week at Iowa, you sit 3rd in the points heading into the round final. You're also looking good to transfer through to the next round. Congratulations on 2nd.
Thank you, sir. Good to win, Jordan.
Appreciate it.
Now on to that driver right there. One more. And of all the races I've seen, Contact coming to the white flag lap that are taking the top 2 out of position, and then the rookie making his first start of the season with the W. Jordan Tansell. How did that one work out for you? A little bit of luck, but also a lot of skill to be there at the end.
Honestly, I don't even know. Like, I just played the right hand tonight. I mean, it was one wild race, and I just kind of took a gamble on staying out on old tires because I only had, like, I don't know, a handful of laps on them. So I was like, I'd rather have track position at this place than be on fresh tires, and we'll see how it goes. And I was banking on a late race caution and use my other set that I had, but apparently I didn't need it. So whenever we went green, like, I had a couple guys that were like running me really hard, and I kind of let them go, and then that way I could sit there and draft on them because I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to make it on fuel, and I'm sitting there looking at the laps, and I'm like, I'm still like 0.5 short, still 0.5 short. So about, I don't know, probably 10, 15 laps to go, I started riding around in 5th gear and just riding like 3/4 down the straightaway, and I was looked at my laps left, and with 2 laps to go, I'm sitting there like, I don't have enough. I'm still gonna be short. Well, the white flag came out. I'm like 1.9 to the good, and I'm like, all right, well, hell, we'll just run it like how we did. So, luckily, I don't think I would have had anything for Dakota if he didn't hit the wall there, because I think we were pretty even. But luckily, I think he just got too tight right there and just knocked the wall down, and that just made me go on by. Luckily, he didn't get a good run coming out of 4, but it was a great race overall.
Fantastic race, and now next week you get to go for 2 wins in a row at Iowa. Brilliant job. Congratulations on the gold medal.
I appreciate it.
Fans at home, another ENEA chapter is in the books, and of all the places to have a great finish like that, how about the Indianapolis Motor Speedway? Why not the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, huh? The racing capital of the world produces another thriller next week at Iowa, though. We're going to see a lot of fast driving and maybe some desperate driving, too, as drivers try to save their playoff lives. And then heading into this Thursday, we've got the Gen 4 cars at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, the new Atlanta Motor Speedway, by the way. So if you love racing, we know you're going to tune in for that this Thursday right here on Rick James TV, 8:40 p.m. And until that next race, everybody please stay safe. Do take care.